Yo, what's up guys? We're back with another video, and today, as promised, is the recap of what is the greatest cross-country season of my life. So I'm gonna begin this video from before, when I restarted the YouTube channel again. In a 5K time trial on what was supposed to be our districts course in July. The whole reason of the time trial was mainly just to kind of see where we were. It was like a month and a half into summer training, so it was just like a fun little thing to kind of just get ourselves mentally prepared for the season to come. Overall, I mean, it was one of the most fun days of summer. We got up there like 7 in the morning. It was like all to ourselves, just kind of ran on it. It's just really fun. Pretty much, Caden, Jake, and I, we all went out together for the first like couple miles. I'll throw up the Strava and the splits right there. I'm not fully sure what exact splits they were, but I know we all went through together through a mile. We were kind of just a little pack, and then me, Caden, and I started to break away a little bit. Pretty much at 2 miles, I made a very specific move that I planned for a little while. Right at 2 miles, there's a hill, and I decided I was gonna make my move there. So I started a little surge there, and I got some distance, but I kind of let Caden come back to me, and then I tried it again. And at that point, I kind of just wasted all my energy and didn't really have anything for a kick. So Caden beat me by like 5 seconds there. But 16:25, which on that course is pretty good, especially with not much training. So the next race we did was a mile time trial on the track. This was in early August, probably like a week before I restarted the channel again. And overall, I wasn't really happy with my performance. I ran a 4:32, which wasn't amazing. It wasn't exactly what I wanted. I remember I went through 1200 at like 3:28 or 3:29, so I closed really well. I was just mad at myself because I could have gone a lot faster. I just went out way too slow. But that was a couple weeks before the first race of our actual cross-country season, and I'd say the first official race that we had. So now, the first official race of our season, this was a very exciting race for us because it was at a time where we really didn't know if we were gonna have a season or not. So we were kind of just like, we're gonna take it in stride and just run our best. It's a very hard course, 400 feet of elevation, which is insane. Some of the hills were just crazy. They were like 45-degree angles. I actually came out with a win. Overall a great race, a pretty good time for the course it was. My whole plan was just go with front pack. It was gonna be, which was pretty much gonna be one other kid plus Jake, Caden, and I. And then with about a mile to go, I started speeding up a little bit and just kind of kept on the gas. And yeah, overall, great race, pretty good time considering the conditions, and first XC win, or first cross win, and it was hopefully with more to come. Now the next race is probably the highlight of my season. It wasn't necessarily the greatest race I could have had. I know I could have gone faster than that. Our pacing wasn't horrible through 2 miles, but we kind of just died with a mile to go. I'm personally mad at myself because I had way too much left at the kick, and I know I probably could have been 5 to 10 seconds faster if I just kind of used that energy that I used in my kick in the last mile. It was my first ever sub 16, which I was very proud about, 15:58. It was between me, Caden, and this other kid from Delaware, and pretty much with about like 200 to go, I like really brought in my kick. I think I closed in like 4:10 average pace, which was obviously way too fast. I should have used all that energy on the last mile, but overall, my first sub 16, which is very big, very important to me. And again, sorry I don't have any clips for this race because they didn't allow spectators on the course, so I couldn't have anyone really filming for me. So after that race, we had about a 3-week race break where we were just training, and then we went into the postseason. So now getting into our postseason, it was certainly not a great race whatsoever. Placed 10th overall, which you may think is pretty great. However, I got 5th last year as a sophomore, so it was definitely not what I was hoping for. I kind of just felt flat, and with about a mile to go, I just couldn't get my legs turning enough, and I just kind of fell apart. The team still did great. We had a very solid pack right behind me, and also our fifth guy ran amazing as well. So our team still did great. We got second to the state champions, and team-wise, we were pretty happy with that, as we only lost by 8. Obviously, a little sad because both Caden and I did not run well, so we probably could have beat them. All right, so now the second race in the 3 races of the postseason, districts. So overall, this was a great race for me. I got 8th overall, which is great compared to what I got at Chestmont's. I was hoping to do a little bit better. Looking back at it, I definitely could have done a little better place-wise. However, it was still a great race considering what we had to go through. So number one, the conditions were horrible. It was like 25-mile-an-hour winds, and it was like 40 degrees outside, which was very cold. And that also kind of showed in the way that we ran it. So pretty much, I think we went out in the first mile like 5:30, and then second mile 5:30. So 11 minutes through 2 miles, which is very slow compared to most of my other races, especially with a big race like districts. In Pennsylvania, I'm in District 1, which is biggest district in the entire state, probably by double. So you would expect it to be a very fast race. So pretty much I stayed with the pack for about 2.25 miles. Then I believe 4 or 5 guys kind of went ahead, really picked up the pace, and I really just couldn't handle it. I kind of fell back a little bit to the second chase pack, and I worked with them till the finish. Pretty much with about a half mile to go, I was feeling absolutely gassed. And even through from like half mile till about 150 meters left, I was feeling horrible. But then with 150 meters left, some switch just went off in my head, and I just went all guns a-blazing, just gave my all through the line, and I eventually passed again. So overall, it was a great race. It was a great race for the team. Definitely the best race we have ever had. Overall, we got second, again, behind the reigning state champions. It was tough because normally 6 teams make it to states from District 1. However, this year, because of COVID and all the restrictions that they had, they were only letting 1 team. State kind of screwed us over with that because we normally have 6 teams and they made it 1, and most of the other districts in our state normally only have 1 team going. So, it didn't really change anything for them, but drastically hurt us. So it was also the highest our school has ever finished at districts, which was great. But we didn't have the state's race to show for it, which kind of sucked. However, I still made it individually, and I'll get into that now. So now, states, it's only about 5 days later. It's a very quick turnaround. Normally it isn't, but districts actually got canceled and from Friday and was postponed to Monday. So then and states was the next Saturday. So it was overall just a very quick turnaround. It was for sure one of the most disappointing races of my life, probably my worst race of my life as well. Just from the start, I just felt horrible. Maybe it was because of the heat. It was like 75 degrees out, which compared to districts was a very drastic change. Pretty much I fell off the pack instantly for whatever reason. I just couldn't hold the pace. It was just really weird. My legs just were off. It was kind of like a repeat of Chestmont's, which is really weird because it's never really happened to me. I for sure could have done better. I pretty much just fell apart. I honestly don't know what happened or really know what I could have done better. I think it was an off day like everyone has every once in a while, but I tried not to let it get me down too much, and because I still knew I had one more race or time trial to do, and then my season would be over. So now the mountain time trial that I did the week after states. So another horrible race. It was a pretty bad sequence of races, I have to say. Pretty much within a week, having 2 bad races, that really messes with you mentally, I have to say. So I went out way too fast, went out in a 2:11.800, which is 1 second off my PR. I can't say I'm mad at myself because that was the whole plan. I'm more mad at myself that I didn't realize I was not in that type of shape yet. I was running strictly 5K training. I was not doing anything close to mile training. So it just kind of messed with me a lot. Pretty much ran a 4:39, which wasn't what I was hoping for in the slightest. And as I said, I went through at 2:11, 800. So you can see how much I died. Maybe if I went out slower, it would have been better. I think could have been. I think if I went out in like a 2:15 and tried to close in a little bit faster than 2:15, it would have been better. Because I personally think I was probably in low for like high 420s, mid 420s shape. But, you know, I just tried to put it behind me because actually the day before I decided I would extend my season for one more week and do one more race, which was a 5K on the track. And just so happened to be a great way to finish out the season. So a week later, I did the 5K on the track. I ran a 15:39, which was honestly, I don't know exactly what I was expecting, but it was a great race. I went out in a 4:55, then a 5, and then, you know, kind of died a little bit, but you know, it happens. Still closed relatively well, still proud of it. I think maybe I could have gone like 5 seconds faster if I went out a little bit slower, but I don't know how much of a difference it would have made. Mentally, I wasn't fully there. You know, I was trying to put both states and the mile time trial behind me, but obviously kind of going into a race, you know, you kind of think about that stuff. I was like, what if I blow up and have another bad race? But, you know, I really surprised myself, went out there, just tried to run, didn't try to put too much pressure on myself, and it ended up working out in the end. About a 20-second PR. I would say that the 15:58 on the cross course was probably like faster than the one on the track, just because the cross course was obviously harder than running on a track. But, you know, I was still very proud of it. But in the end, I was still very proud of the race. So yeah, that was all of the best cross-country season of my life. Broke some barriers, you know, sub 16 for the first time, first cross win, best team in school history, also highest finish at districts in school history. So a lot of firsts for me and for the team, which was have another long training block. I'm gonna continue indoor through outdoor this time. Normally for the past 2 years I haven't. I've taken a break in between indoor and outdoor. I want to use indoors somewhat like how I use summer training for cross, so I can just build a really great base and hit some really good times for outdoor season. I'm really excited for that. It'll be one large grind, I can tell you that, and I will be putting out videos every week like I have been. Overall, thanks for all the support that you guys have been giving me. All 283 of you. I know that might not seem like a lot, but to me, it's a lot. Also, big news. I just bought the Nike Dragonfly spikes. I'm super excited about those. They're really cool. I will, once I actually run in them, because I probably won't be running in them for a long time, I'll try to make sure I give a complete review of it, because that is just one of the coolest spikes that I've ever laid my eyes on, and I'm so excited to run in them. But with that said, I'll see you guys in the next video, and thanks for all the support.